Who's practicing unconditional hospitality? Has anybody else practiced never say no? Instead of saying, oh, we don't do that. Sorry, we can't do that. You went, we solved the problem, right? The answer is yes. You don't want to ever stop at, we don't have that, sorry. It's like, how about this? How does this sound, right? We got to make sure that if someone says we don't have it, we can't do it, it's not we're saying no. We're never saying we can't do it. It's a solution, right? We're giving them a solution of what we can do. Sometimes that solution is not going to be equal. Sometimes it might not even be close, but we're still showing that we care by offering a solution. We're never saying no, ever, right? How about this? Would this work for you, right? How about if we did it this way instead? How about this option, right? The shrimp, right? You didn't say no. Maybe put it on the side and then we'll add it on later. They're a little bit weird in the back in the kitchen because they have everything set up perfectly. But what I'll do is I'll bring it out and I'll put it on top. It'll be just like it was on there. Does that sound good? Right? Because when you do that, it shows them that you care. That's what we want to do when we're never saying no, showing them that we care. That's the biggest thing. Does anybody here in this room, raise of hands, likes it when someone tells them no? No one in this room? Of course, nobody likes to be told no, especially in a business transaction. I'm giving you money. I'd like to have the best experience, my preferable experience. And our job is to be an artist and say, how do we not say no? So what else do we learn about unconditional hospitality? If you're a server or a bartender, raise your hand, please. So he's saying when someone walks in, we make them feel welcome, right? Even if it's not our table, even if it's not our guest. If we're crossing paths with people, we can still interact with them. But how could you make it seem genuine? What else can you do besides words to communicate? Handshake? What else? Eye contact. Smiling, right? Body language, right? We're facing them. Gestures. 93% of communication is nonverbal. Yes, so 93% is nonverbal, right? So when we're talking to them, eye contact, smiling. The words are important, but they don't matter as much as the nonverbal piece, right? Eye contact, smiling, posturing up with you, and having that authenticity in your tonality. Your tonality matters. Why does tonality matter? Have you guys ever been dating someone and you get in an argument and they're like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Tonality is important because it really tells the story, right? If I'm walking up, hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. Can I start you off with something to drink? Does that sound like I'm asking because I care or I'm doing good? No, but hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. I'm glad you're doing well. Can I start you off with something to drink? That's a lot different because of tonality. Completely different experiences. One shows that I care and I'm engaged. The other one shows that I could care less and I'm checking boxes. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Are we here to go above and beyond for the guest?
Yes.
Do we remember what our one goal is here? Our number one goal is? Does everyone remember what that is? Yeah, so giving the guest the best experience possible. Giving the guest the best experience possible. Not we're going to do our job, not we're going to make sure they get everything. Giving the guest the best experience possible. Compliment their outfit, right? That's huge, right? That's engaging. You're engaging with them. How about what if they're over on their wait time? What can we do? Over on their reservation time to be seated. What can we do? What would you do to make them happy? If you said, I know they're upset, what can I do to fix it? They'll be in the next seating. Okay, so that's good. Giving them times, anticipation, but we should grab a manager, correct? Always grab a manager. In any situation, you guys should be grabbing a manager saying, hey, I need your help, right? Like we're 20 minutes over ticket time. I need your help. Can you go talk to this table before they get upset? Because right now they're waiting 20 minutes past the reservation. We need to fix that. We don't want them sitting at the table upset because that's what's going to happen. If we just say, oh, sorry about that. You can have a drink at the bar while you wait. Wait, no. I made a reservation so I don't have to wait. That's the whole point of me making a reservation. Why am I waiting, right? That's not acceptable. We got to go above and beyond, grab a manager, so when they sit down, they're not sitting down angry. Because when they sit down angry, now it's game on. They're looking for a reason not to like the experience. They're looking for a reason to write a bad review. They're looking, right? So we got to make sure we turn them around ASAP. So that's what we're talking about, best guest experience possible. We want to go above and beyond. We want to make sure if there's any chance that they could be upset, we're going to fix it beforehand. We're going to be preemptive, not reactive, right? We want to make sure that we don't get them to that mad state. We want to nip it in the butt as soon as humanly possible. Do you guys agree with that? All right, so let's really focus on making sure we're going above and beyond for the guest. Now, one thing I talked about a lot last time was unconditional hospitality. Yeah, not expecting anything back. Do you guys agree with that? Yes. Okay, well, we're giving hospitality to the guest. When we're giving hospitality to, who else can we give hospitality to? To our team, right? Yes. We can give hospitality to who else? Our coworkers. Yes. So our guest and our team, we're giving unconditional hospitality, which means we don't expect anything back. Do you guys understand that? That means I'm going to do something for them and I'm not going to expect anything in return. I'm just going to do it out of the kindness of my heart. I'm not going to do it for a tip. I'm not going to do it to get a better section. I'm not going to do it to appease a coworker. I'm doing it strictly because I want to do it out of the kindness of my heart to make this business better and because I have high standards. A server gets double sat next to your section, or just a server gets double sat and you see it, help out. Don't ask. Go greet the table. Just go greet them. Don't ask. That's unconditional. Now, if the guy next to you, the person next to you doesn't do it for you, does that matter? No. It doesn't matter, right? Who here has high standards when it comes to work? So everyone in this room has high standards. Is that correct? Yes. High standards are your standards. Your standard. That's your personal standard. That's not her standard. That's not his standard. It's my standard. Okay? So if I have high standards, why would his work dictate what I do? And what I mean by that, let's say I'm working next to him, he gets double sat, and I run over, I greet his table for him. Hey, I got your drink order, I put it in. I'm going to have the food runner run your drinks. They'll get the table over. All you have to do is get their food order, and they're ready to go. Right? I do that for him every night, multiple times. And then one time I'm getting slammed. I get triple sat, and I go in the back to grab chips, and he's back there leaning on the counter on his phone. He's slow. Right? That would obviously make you mad initially, but should I change the way I act around him? Should I change the way I help him in the future? Should I change the way I help him in the future? No. Why not? Yes, you're doing it for the guest. It's unconditional, and it's your standard. I'm not doing it for him. Okay, I'm not helping him out for him. I'm not you personally helping you out. I'm helping out the guest, and I'm helping out the guest unconditionally, and I'm doing it because I have high standards. Now, if I were to say, from now on, I'm not going to help you out. From now on, I'm not going to greet your tables because you don't greet mine. You don't help me out when I help out. You don't do it for me. That's me lowering my standard because of his actions. That's me lowering my own standards because of his actions. It falls on no one else except for me. You have to set an example. So I want to keep my standards up here. Everyone raise their hand in here, correct? We all have high standards? Yes. We all have high standards over there? So we have high standards. We're not lowering it. It doesn't matter if he doesn't help me back. It doesn't matter if he's going to do the stuff that I'm doing for him. I'm doing it for the guest. I'm unconditional. I'm the best coworker, the best employee that you're going to have. You don't dictate that. The guest doesn't dictate that. The managers don't dictate that. Because make no mistake about it, guys. Make no mistake about it. You're here working for yourself. But you're working for yourself, which means how you conduct yourself here is how you're going to conduct yourself at the next place. That's it. That's your standard. You're building your own reputation, your own work standard, your own values. If you show up late, if you cut corners, if you do a subpar job, that's on you. Those are your standards. It affects him. Yes, of course, it affects the company, but that's ultimately on you. That's you as a worker. And you can make all the excuses in the world. The manager's this, the coworker's that, the guest this, me that, my life, these things are happening. But at the end of the day, your standard is your standard. Bottom line. Someone's going to look at you, and your standard's going to be somewhere. That's it. So you hold your own standards, period. Do you guys agree with that? Yes, sir. All right, so let's focus on keeping our standards high, no matter what. And again, totally on you.